So Trump has said he's going to raise tariffs on Canada by 10% because of the unflattering Reagan commercial that highlighted how problematic tariffs can be and why tariffs are the wrong approach. The question, though, is can Trump do this, and is he actually doing it, or is it just political bluster on social media? Now, Congress holds the power to tax and set tariffs, and a president can only raise duties when Congress has already given the legal path to do so. Those paths do exist, but they require a process. They require evidence and a lot of paperwork. Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 allows tariffs when the Department of Commerce finds that imports impair national security and the president issues a formal proclamation. Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974 allows duties after the United States Trade Representative completes an investigation and finds an unjustifiable or unreasonable foreign practice or a breach of trade agreements. Section 201 allows temporary safeguard tariffs when the United States International Trade Commission finds a surge of imports is a substantial cause of serious injury within the United States. Now, what all of that means is Trump not liking a television commercial quoting President Reagan does not meet any of those tests. It's not a national security finding, not an unfair trade practice, and not an import surge. Another route Trump has used for tariffs is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, but this path is on shaky legal ground as well. In fact, a federal appeals court has already held that using emergency powers to impose broad new duties exceeds what the statute permits. Put simply, authority to regulate imports in an emergency is not authority to create new tariffs and new taxes on trade. However, the Supreme Court could honestly side with Trump when it gets to them. But as of right now, as of today, it's supposed to be a tall barrier. That being said, all of this assumes anyone has the balls to enforce the law when it comes to Trump. Now, the Berman Amendment also plays a part here. It is a limit on the president's international emergency economic powers by protecting informational materials from any country to include TV commercials. This Canadian TV ad fits this category. So if the White House tried to use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to restrict or penalize or coerce Canada, the Berman rule would apply in this case. Now, the other question I asked is Trump actually implementing these tariffs, or is he just saying he is for political bluster? Because customs cannot charge a new 10% tariff on Canada on the basis of a tweet. To become real, tariffs must rest on a statute, must meet certain findings requirements, and must be set out in a presidential proclamation that is published so importers know which products, which rates, and which dates apply. That means the Federal Register notice, the legal citations, and the commodity lists are all published and available for everyone. Without those pieces in place, nothing changes at the port of entry, and any attempt to collect the duties would draw instant lawsuits. And honestly, most of this paperwork can be done in just a few hours by all the federal agencies that traditionally do these things. So as of right now, though, there's no official presidential proclamation or Federal Register notice spelling out a new 10% rate on Canadian goods, and US Customs hasn't issued fresh CSMS guidance implementing it. News coverage continues to describe this as more of just an announcement or a threat with unclear legal basis rather than an actual in-place tariff. Canadian and trade compliance trackers likewise note no immediate changes and no formal notice has appeared for them to react. So as of right now, it seems like what Trump did was likely just for show because he can only raise tariffs through the laws Congress already delegated. And a TV commercial is not one of the criteria that fits into this situation. Unless the administration produces the legal hook, the findings, and the proclamation, this looks like political bluster and Trump fodder to look strong, mend his fragile ego, and provide hype material for his base.